Good day, everybody. Steamhawke here, and today we are going to be kicking off the very first portion of my attempts at doing Let's Play style games. Now, this is something I've been interested in for a while, but haven't really had the opportunity to jump on board with yet, and so I'm excited for this opportunity to really go forward and try and transition a little bit away from the streaming real-time side of things and more towards the video content production side of things, and try and carve out my slice of YouTube. So, that being said, I'm going to start with a Let's Play of Bioshock. Now, before I jump into it, there's a couple of things I want to clear up, as this will be my first attempt, and I just want to clear the air, as it were, before we go in. First of all, I want to say that there's usually three different kinds of Let's Players that I would identify. First of all, there's the people who just play the game, don't interject with any of their own commentary, don't show a camera of themselves, don't do anything, and they're only there to deliver the gameplay in its most original form, so that as you, as the viewer, are watching it, you can see the plot and the characterization and the storyline, and really take away your own beliefs and understanding from the game without somebody else pushing theirs on you or subtly changing the way you would accept something in its truest form for just yourself. So those people tend to be very uninteractive, but usually are pretty damn good at the games that they're playing, and it's just there so that you can see, oh cool, that is a really cool story, I do like that, or I'm kind of interested in this game, I want to see what it's all about, without getting somebody else's real opinions on it, just what is the game and is it worthwhile to me. So those tend to be a lot less intuitive to me, but they are generally pretty solid productions in general. On the other side of the spectrum, there's people who have very, very, very high-quality productions that are usually really polished and rehearsed, and they'll record their gameplay, and they'll record their audio, and then they'll mix the two in between and add in additional stuff afterwards, and there tends to be a lot of time and a lot of editing and a lot of effort that go into making just a really nice presentation for you as the viewer. Those people have an immense amount of respect for me, but I have neither the time nor the skills to compete with them. So I kind of fall in the middle category, which is people who like to deliver a very interactive experience, a very dynamic way of playing a game, where you can join in and see the fun that I am having when I am first attempting a game that I've never played before, and it makes it a lot more raw, interactive experience between both myself, Steamhawke, and the game, as well as you and me, baby. So, in this kind of situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a camera of myself, plop it down in the bottom left corner, which for you guys is down over that away, so that you can see everything that's going on in my head and listen to all my crazy jokes, which, albeit are generally pretty poor, but common nonetheless, and all sorts of stuff like that, so that you really get a good feeling for what it's like to play this game as me, or as though you were sitting on the couch with me as I'm going through it, and it makes it a lot more of a social, interesting experiment, in my opinion, as opposed to the Let's Players who do it as a, just kind of here's the game, take it as it is, and do what you want with it, or the people who are like, here's really all the intricacies of the game, here's the top secret tips that I can give you, here's the best gun in the game, this is what the developers were thinking, all that jazz. And then there's me who's like, yeah, Bioshock, it's this cool sci-fi shooter from, oh god, 2007, I think? Whew, I am getting old. Cool sci-fi shooter where you can shoot bees out of your hand and, you know, really embody Randian ethics and the moral code, you know, that's implied by that, and all this good stuff, and really kind of enjoy it at face value without delving too deep into it, and just kind of getting a more unique experience with it. So, this is kind of a polarizing issue that I'm bringing up here, because a lot of people feel very strongly about whether you should include yourself in a Let's Play or you should just have gameplay. A lot of people do end up watching them for the commentary themselves, but they don't necessarily like being able to see the person who is playing it, especially in boring scenes or times where you're like, well, you're just kind of sitting there, or you're doing something redundant and it's not really interesting and you're taking away from my viewing experience. Other people on the opposite side of the spectrum are like, you know, I don't really care what game you're playing, I'm just going to show up to watch that beautiful little Steamhawke face making all of its crazy animations and gestures and facial expressions and whatnot, and I don't really know what the correct formula is for this, but I feel like a lot of my strong suit is being able to do things off the cuff and really keep up with the game and enjoy it as I'm going along, as opposed to preparing something in advance or doing a lot of post-editing in order to make it a more enjoyable production for you guys. So you are going to get the most raw Steamhawke experience as you possibly can, and we're going to start out with Bioshock. So, brutal honesty, it's probably going to be a little bit shady. I've been having all kinds of problems with my microphone lately. I've got my headset set up a little bit differently, my green screen's all different, and we're going to see how this all works out. But I'm excited to start this journey. I'm excited to jump in with the YouTubers, even though the whole Let's Play environment is already pretty saturated with awesome people and some not so awesome people. I'm hopefully going to worm my way in there and get my little chunk of YouTube action. So, let's do it, guys.